Almost every man ends up falling into the same trap. And the worst thing is, most of them don't even notice it until it's already too late. Because in the end, it's not age that destroys their relationships. It's something far more subtle, something quieter, but much more dangerous. Have you ever asked yourself why some men, even in their 40s or 50s, remain attractive, confident, and emotionally appealing, while others seem to just fade away? It's not about money, it's not about looks, and it's definitely not about luck. It comes down to psychology, and hardly anyone really breaks this down. If you don't understand it, you can lose meaningful connections without ever realizing the reason why. In this video, I'm going to show you what actually shifts inside a man's mind over time, and how those changes directly affect his ability to connect, attract, and sustain a relationship. These aren't typical tips or polished phrases. They're real, sometimes uncomfortable truths. And the final one is the one most men completely overlook, yet it's also the one that costs them the most. Here's the issue. Many men believe that as they grow older, they should have everything figured out. More experience, stronger logic, greater stability. But in reality, the opposite often happens. They become more closed, more rigid, and harder to connect with on an emotional level. And that's exactly what weakens attraction. Because a woman doesn't connect with your experience. She connects with how she feels when she's around you. You might have every part of your life in order, but if you're not creating emotion, there's no real connection. And that's where most men fall short. They start believing that maturity means becoming emotionally distant. As time passes, many men stop taking risks. They stop expressing who they truly are. They stop feeling deeply. Instead, they begin to protect themselves. And while that might seem logical in relationships, it's actually a major mistake. Emotional connection doesn't grow from strength alone. It grows from vulnerability. Not weakness, but the ability to express what you genuinely feel, to be present, and to avoid hiding behind a mask of control. Yet over time, many men do the exact opposite. They become predictable, distant, and difficult to read, which creates an immediate sense of disconnection. There's something most people never tell you. Love doesn't maintain itself automatically. It's something that must constantly be built. Many men reach a certain stage in life and think, I don't need to prove anything anymore. And that's exactly where things start to decline. They stop noticing the small details. They stop truly listening. They stop observing. And without even realizing it, the relationship begins to cool, not all at once, but gradually, like a flame, slowly fading away. And by the time they finally respond, it's already too late. Here's an important point. In a mature relationship, attraction isn't about impressing someone. It's about how you make them feel, making them feel calm, understood, connected, but also emotionally alive. Yes, emotion matters, because when a relationship loses emotion, it turns into routine, and routine eventually kills desire. That's why some older men achieve something that seems almost impossible. They stay interesting. They stay desired. They continue to be chosen, not because they're flawless, but because they keep creating real, genuine emotional experiences. Now really pay attention to this. It's not about what you say. It's about how someone feels when they're with you. Your energy, your focus, the way you listen. That's what truly matters. A man who understands this deeply doesn't need to try too hard to impress. His presence alone communicates confidence without arrogance, interest without desperation, and calmness without emotional coldness. And that combination is extremely rare, which is exactly why it stands out. But here's the most critical part. The biggest mistake men make as they age is that they stop evolving emotionally. They grow in their careers, they grow financially, they gain experience, but they don't grow in the way they love, and that leaves them stuck. Because relationships aren't sustained by logic, they're sustained by connection. And if you fail to grow in that area, everything else starts to lose its meaning. The truth is simple, but not always easy to accept. It's not your age that determines your value in a relationship. It's your ability to connect, and that's something that can be learned, practiced, and improved. Once you understand this, You won't just improve your relationships, you'll completely change the way others see you. And the reality is most people never figure this out. But you already have an edge.